Hello and welcome to week 2 of English 102. I just wanted to briefly go over a couple of the assignments and a couple of things that I want you to look at this week as you're preparing for the discussion post and then also your response paper. So if you look in the class, there's almost always two different sets of required reading. One is the non-literature part, and the second is the actual text that you're reading. This part is just as important as the short stories, because a lot of times this will give you background about the authors. Especially in this case, there is a piece about Faulkner and O'Connor. So you want to be sure that you're reading the background about both of those authors from our selections this week. And then also it starts to dive into some of the literary theory and the literary analysis that's already been done about these pieces, and they will be able to help you as you're working on your responses for the discussion forums and then also for your paper. So it's kind of set up for you to just go down through each of these steps. You know about the objectives for the week. I would just work down through each of these steps, going through the required reading, because a lot of times, like I said, it gives you the background. Then looking at the actual stories themselves. Anytime that you're planning on discussing a story or writing about a story, it's going to take more than one read through of the story. There would not be an opportunity for me just to read a story real quick and then have to respond to it without having to go back. So just plan your week out so you have time to spend with each of these texts. So then you have some really well written discussion posts and then also your actual response paper. So, at the beginning of the week, I would try and get these done and then at least read through them and understand what's going to be happening for the rest of the week. So here are the week 2 response paper instructions. You only need to choose one of these. You have 4 different ones. You only need to choose one. Okay. And these are from selections from week 1 or week 2. Doesn't have to just be the stories that you're reading this week. So for your response paper, you want to use at least one direct quote and one paraphrase with MLA citations as necessary. So you may have to think back to when you took English 101 for some of those citations. And then I also have a link in our class as well. And also to remember that your response is going to be about 500 words, which is typically around about 5 paragraphs, good, healthy paragraphs. So let's just get back in here to week 2 real quick. So please don't skip over these resources. Every week there's several of these types of resources, and they're all supplementing what you're reading and what you're going to be writing about. So there's a couple videos in here that talk about how to write a response paper, how to analyze literature. If you think back to English 101, there wasn't any literature. It was focused on writing essays and writing arguments. So this is a different shift than what you had previously done in English 101. So these, to me, are just as important as what you're going to do up here for the required stuff, because it really supports it. So at any time you feel like, I don't know, you read through these instructions, make sure you're looking down through here because there's a lot of support in there. And also be sure to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be glad to help you. So then the completed activities that you're going to do this week is the discussion forum, critical thinking, and then the week 2 response paper is due on Sunday. So just be sure that you have read through the late policy. I know life is busy for all of us, but you have a goal of doing well in English 102, and I want you to do well in English 102. And one of the biggest factors that's going to come into play is being able to schedule out your time, planning time to get things done, we all know if there's going to be an issue, it's going to happen right before something's due. So I encourage you to make the most of your week and try and get some of these things done, so I don't get the inevitable emails that are sent out at 12:01 because something wasn't able to be submitted. So just keep those in mind as you work on your goal of wanting to do well in English 102. So have a great week, and I'll see you in class.